Yo, welcome to another episode of A Chapter a Day to Keep the Devil Away. I am Tanaya Shea, and this is the place where we read a chapter of the Bible together every day until we finish the entire thing. Today we are going to be reading Exodus chapter 17. If you haven't read Exodus chapter 16 yet, you should go do that. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome home. Let's get into it. Water from the rock. At the Lord's command, the whole community of Israel left the wilderness of Sin and moved from place to place. Eventually they came at Rephidim, but there was no water there for the people to drink. So once more, the people complained against Moses. "Give us water to drink," they demanded. "Quiet," Moses replied. "Why are you complaining against me? And why are you testing the Lord?" But tormented by thirst, they continued to argue with Moses. "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? Are you trying to kill us, our children, and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What should I do with these people? They are ready to stone me." The Lord said to Moses, "Walk out in front of the people, take your staff, the one you used when you struck the water of the Nile, and call some of the elders of Israel to join you. I will stand before you on the rock at Mount Sinai. Strike the rock, and water will come gushing out. Then people will be able to drink." So Moses struck the rock as he was told, and water gushed out as the elders looked on. Moses named the place Massah, which means test, and Meribah, which means arguing, because the people of Israel argued with Moses and tested the Lord by saying, "Is the Lord here with us or not?" Israel defeats the Amalekites. While the people of Israel were still at Rephidim, the warriors of Amalek attacked them. Moses commanded Joshua, "Choose some men to go out and fight the army of Amalek for us. Tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill holding the staff of God in my hand." So Joshua did what Moses had commanded and fought the army of Amalek. Meanwhile, Moses, Aaron, and Hur climbed to the top of a nearby hill. As long as Moses held up the staff in his hand, the Israelites had the advantage. But whenever he dropped his hand, the Amalekites gained the advantage. Moses' arms became so tired he could no longer hold them up, so Aaron and Hur found a stone for him to sit on. Then they stood on each side of Moses, holding up his hands, so his hands held steady until sunset. As a result, Joshua overwhelmed the army of Amalek in battle. After the victory, the Lord instructed Moses, "Write this down on a scroll as a permanent reminder and read it aloud to Joshua. I will erase the memory of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar there and named it Yahweh Nisi, which means "the Lord is my banner." He said, "They have raised their fist against the Lord's throne, so now the Lord will be at war with Amalek, generation after generation." I don't have a ton of thoughts after this chapter. I do like the whole, so long as Moses' staff was raised, they had the upper hand thing. So much to the effect that Aaron and Hur had to prop Moses' hands up so that they could, win the battle. I wonder, I don't know. Not a ton of thoughts. I think it's very easy to look at the Israelites and their constant complaining or their quick kind of readiness to turn on Moses and the Lord as soon as hardship comes, and forget that they've been in the wilderness for a long time. An 11-day trip from Egypt to the Promised Land is taking them, I think, 40 years. And so I don't know what day or year or week they are on, but I can imagine that it's a test of their faith and a proving ground for their reliance on God, and that is not easy. And so I don't necessarily see them as failures. I just see them as human. and they don't know, like God hasn't been there for 400 years. And now all of a sudden he's shown up to save them. And, they're in the wilderness. So it's easy to read them as stubborn and stiff-necked and just like unnaturally distrusting of the Lord. But God wasn't there for them in the way that they thought he would be for a long time. And then he showed up really, aggressively to save them. And now they're kind of having to rebuild that faith and trust and hope and all those things, which feels very human. So I understand that. And I think that's a good thing. So I hope that you understand that too. Okay. Love you. Peace.